Joy Burnett, thank you. Now let's bring in one of our legal political analysts, attorney Andrew Lieb. Andrew, what do you make of this plea deal that Joy just laid out? Is it harsh, light, typical?
Chance, I would take it in a second. Scott Hall, smart guy, smartest of the 19. He was charged with felonies, lots of felonies. He could have went to jail for years and years and years on end. He was charged with tampering with Coffee County Dominion voting machines. You know what he got out of that? 5 years probation. It's like the get out of jail free card. Any other of the 18 defendants that's listening tonight is thinking, do I want to avoid jail? Do I want to do a Scott Hall? He's going to be the first domino of many, especially since the trial is starting October 23rd with respect to Chesebro and Powell. And he's a key witness against Powell, Chance.
Okay. Now, I was trying to think this through of, the position he had at that moment and where he fell into all of this. It seems unlikely that Scott Graham Hall, local resident, was doing lots of chatting and planning and, scheming with then President Trump. How valuable would the testimony be?
It's going to be valuable against Sidney Powell. Sidney Powell is one of the two lawyers. You remember Chesebro, Kenneth Chesebro. Those are the two lawyers that have the first trial. They both said, hey, we want to have a speedy trial. We don't want to wait. In fact, today, a major piece of news came out because Chesebro's motion to suppress major emails with Donald Trump and the whole orbit, he tried to suppress that. That was denied. All those emails are coming in. But Chance, to your question, this Hall, his flipping, it's going to really rain on the parade of Sidney Powell. And even though it's unlikely that bail bondsmen like Hall coordinated with Trump or anyone in the inner orbit, it's quite likely that someone like Powell did. So this flipping could cause other flipping. If I'm Sidney Powell tonight, this is the worst possible news you could have with your trial coming up on October 23rd. Couple that with Chesebro losing his motion to suppress. These two cats have a lot of problems moving on. We're going to see some other dominoes fall real soon, in my estimation, Chance.
Really? And that's what I was wondering, because so with this deal, you said you'd take it in a second. He writes an I'm sorry letter and he serves probation. He doesn't go to prison, serving a hard time. And yes, I know this is a standalone significant case, but what message might the prosecutors be sending to fellow defendants? Is it the water's warm, come work with us? Are they doing that?
It's like deals, get your deals. Anyone want a deal? Come get a deal. Because at the end of the day, Chance, yeah, he's got to write an apology letter. Boo-hoo! He's got to write an apology letter to the people of Georgia. He can't talk to all these people, as we were learning in the package before. It's true, he has 5 years probation. 5 misdemeanors he had to plead guilty to. He doesn't even have felony record moving forward. He was charged, just to remind you, with the racketeering law that was going on. To walk away with 5 misdemeanors is like a gift from the gods. If you're watching and you're thinking and you're one of the 18, I wish I would have got Scott Hall's deal if I was one of them. This guy knew what the right time to flip was. I think that he's going to be a key witness, and we wonder who he's talking to, just to go back again. But the key is that the first trial is Sidney Powell and Kenneth Chesebro, and he's a key witness against them. And that's why this flip is so very important, Chance.
Does timing matter on plea deals? Does it, if you're first in the door, you get a better deal than the person who's 18th in the door?
It matters, but I can't say it's linear like that, meaning that it matters how fast you are on the goods that matter the most. Meaning that if you were first in the door and you could bury everyone else, then yeah, that really, really matters. But as you pointed out, who knows who this bail bondsman, this Scott Hall that flew in to deal with the Dominion voting machines, who knows how connected he was to all of it. But if someone like Kenneth Chesebro flips, who else are they going to need? They don't need anyone else. If Kenneth Chesebro, one of these attorneys for Trump flips, then they got everyone. They got the kingpin. That's what they got going from there. So I think it matters to go fast, but it also matters how good your goods are. There's certain people that are valuable no matter what. There's certain people that aren't. But with each flipping, the desire for the prosecutor to give a deal becomes less and less and less. And the pressure on the people to flip become more and more and more, Chance. So if people are thinking about flipping, they better dial up the phone to the prosecutor soon. At least that's what I would do, Chance.
Yeah, you said there's only 3.5 weeks left before some of these trials. Then quickly, then Andrew, could this look very generous? In other words, that prosecutors who went hard end up looking soft?
Well, they only look soft if they don't get a conviction on these trials coming up in 3 weeks. If they get a big conviction on October 23rd against these two lawyers, or they get them to flip, then they look like geniuses. I always say this in litigation. It's not about the chess moves you make along the way. It's whether you get that queen. Do you get the queen? That's all that matters. Let's see if they get the queen, Chance.
Andrew Lieb, as always, thanks for your insight. Coming up this hour.